the collaborative piece of what this creates is really just little bits that you take through your day. Because I think a lot of people, since we're talking about mindset, this kind of goes in with what we're going to discuss today. I think a lot of people think that they have to have a coach, or they have to go through a program, or they have to pay somebody money to like hold them accountable. They have to be doing something. We always feel like we're not doing, it's like part of like a job description, I think, for a lot of agents. We don't feel like we're ever doing enough. And we have to be also doing what everyone else is doing. Just because that's what they're doing, or that's what works for them. And we forget that we're all different people. We all have different needs. We all have different like ideals about us and quirks and things that are going to make us do what we need to do on the regular daily basis. Like, right? Everybody has like something different. So just know that just because everybody else is doing something and it's working for them, one, doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. And two, doesn't mean you're going to like it. So
yeah, and that's what we do after the collaboration meetings is we talk about, are there any questions, of course, about the presentation, but then, is there anything you need help with, anything you're struggling with? And that's so we try to get 15 minutes of collaboration in after the presentation. And, there's an opportunity there to help each other out and answer those questions. And I agree, it's really important to have that. And you talked about accountability. You're right. You don't need a coach, and just even finding another real estate agent that you can count on. Like that's how Carrie and I met. We were accountability partners in a challenge that we did. Yeah. And then we just kind of kept going from there. And now it's even, morphed into something more like almost a business partnership because we're there for each other and we support each other.
We are so Christina Swyers. Presenting today, talking with us about Malec. She is an awesome EXP icon agent. She is my sponsor, so I have the privilege of learning a lot from her directly. So I've heard her talk on this several times, and I'm just so excited to have her share with all of you. So take it away.
Yeah, so I thought it would be fun today to talk about the personality profiles. And like, I don't know about you guys, but I really like that kind of stuff. I like learning about like Capricorn and the Enneagram and like all the different things, the profiles, right? Everybody should know like what you are like on the disc profile. Bristol Myers Squibb, like I've done all of those. I did Strength Finders. Strength Finders was pretty cool. And one thing I learned about myself is I'm can be a futuristic person and understand things before they're going to happen in business. And that's really served me really well. So like that book is all about like doubling down on your strengths once you figure out what that is. So I thought it would be fun for me to give mindset tools from my perspective, which is I'm a Capricorn, which anybody know Capricorn and the zodiac is like a goat. Like they are usually, I'm pretty to a T that they're usually hardworking. We can be very direct people. We're highly sarcastic. We're very loyal. We love you until you do something wrong, and then we cut you off. We don't tell you we cut you off, but you're cut off. You're never back in the circle. Once you get outside the circle of trust, you go back in. So pretty much to a T to that. And then the Enneagram is really fun. So I'm an 8 on the Enneagram with a 7 wing, which is kind of like my fun and charismatic part of me, where most of it is, we're what do I say? We're not only direct, but like we're in our convictions, like in our values, and you will always know where we stand on things. And we're not afraid to say that and stand in our truth, no matter sometimes who it may hurt or who it may make mad. Because we really highly believe in we're convicted people usually. So, and then I'm a high D, high I on the disc profile out of the D, I, S, and C on the disc, which I highly recommend you take if you haven't done that. It's fun. And your disc changes over time, but I'm a very high D and a very high I, and I'm like non-existent S and C. So my I is actually higher than my D when I know people are watching me and when I'm in social settings, which means I'm a dominant, direct person, when I need to be. But when I am in a social aspect with other people, I kind of let that guard down and I like to have fun and network. People like are my energy. And so I'm not as dominant in those settings. I'm trying to be more fun and laid back and really connect with people. So connection is really important to me. So if that tells you where I came up with this and how I decided to share this. So I'm going to share my screen with you and I'm going to bring this up. Hold on, there we go. Here we go. We'll go over this. Can you guys see my screen? Yes? Okay. All right. Unleash your real estate dominance. So this is all related to real estate, okay? As a Capricorn powerhouse, high D and I dynamo, and Enneagram 8, here are my top 10 mindset tools to conquer our real estate realm, which is basically like our real estate world. So first thing, relentless determination with the Capricorn drive. Like we talked about, Capricorns are very driven people. Almost everybody that you know that was born in January. I know so many people that I think out of my life and I'm like, oh, that's why we're friends. Like we are very similar and we're very driven. So I love the audacious goals. We set big goals. We conquered them no matter what, right? What that really means is we have unwavering determination to do something. When we set our mind to something, we do it. And we can all learn from that. We can all learn from setting goals and actually accomplishing them, no matter how big or how small. I talked about this yesterday on my weekly call with my group on how it was so important to me to hit the goals that I've had and that I was always running a marathon and not a sprint. That it doesn't matter how long it takes for me to hit the goal, whatever that may be. In my mind, as long as I stay focused on what it is I want to obtain and I'm moving the needle doing something small every day, I'm not going to get overwhelmed because usually when we go and we do like the vision board or we set big goals for ourselves, it can almost feel like it's so unobtainable and that we get an analysis paralysis or we don't even know the steps we need to take to hit those goals, right? When really we need to peel back the layers of an onion and do little things each day that are going to help us. And I use the example of, meeting with other real estate agents and how I was going to build my network. And I just said, okay, I'm going to set a goal to have 2 coffees or 2 lunches a week with agents that I don't know. Right? That is an easy, obtainable goal. And then I said, okay, how am I going to do that? I'm going to connect with other agents that I've done deals with. I'm going to go and be present at networking events. I'm going to reach out to other people that are professionals in the industry or professionals that work within our industry and ask them, who do they know that I need to know? Right? Networking is an art. It's a skill. So if that makes sense for that. So setting goals and letting nothing stand in your way, no matter what, and viewing challenges as stepping stones. This is a big one. View challenges as stepping stones to success. When you hit a roadblock, it's your job to figure it out, just like it is in real estate, right? With real estate, with our clients, when we are problem solvers, we just talked about this. We are really good at finding solutions to people's problems. So being able to figure that out over time, you do this for many, many, many years, you're going to get really good, not only at solving problems for others, but solving problems for yourself, how to do that. So I love that mindset piece. So make sure that you just have some relentless determination and everything that you're doing, do it to the fullest. The second one here, fearless confidence. Embrace the Enneagram 8 strength. Like I said, we're really strong people, especially in our convictions. Exude confidence in negotiations and dealings. Listen, confidence is I would say out of everything on this list is probably the most important skill to really figure out for yourself. And it's not something that you wake up one day and you're like, oh, I'm a confident person. The reason that matters is because it's confidence in how we speak to our clients. It's confidence in how we are conveying whatever it is we're trying to get across to the other person or the other side. That is what makes you good at negotiating. And why is that important? To be a good negotiator, that is going to make or break you in this industry, because this industry will chew you up and spit you out, eat you alive for breakfast if you let it, because we've all dealt with an agent on the other side that was really hard sometimes to work with, but maybe they were just a better negotiator than you. And maybe we can learn something from that. So that comes from confidence. That comes from getting yourself in more precarious situations in this industry that you don't know how to get out of, challenges you don't know how to get out of, and weaving your way and trying to figure that out, right? So confidence is so important. Strength and assertiveness, and then navigating the negotiations with poise and authority. That comes with confidence, right? Knowing that, okay, no, this is what it is. I'm pretty sure I'm the professional, I'm the expert, right? We're guiding. We could use that in like guiding our clients towards all the mess with the buyer agency, right? We're confident when a client asks us, why do I need to pay you? Why do I need to do this, right? And what we're saying to them. So important. All right, strategic adaptability, high D, high I, agility. So agility is the ability to pivot when you're in challenges or when you're in, not so good situations. And then also not only pivot, but thrive in them, in an ever-changing real estate landscape. So think about the last year. Think of how difficult the market was for a lot of agents, but there are still agents that saw success. What makes those agents different? I would say the ability to be agile, the ability to see things and pivot and go a different direction. When they see everybody else going here, they're going over here, right? So that's a really good strength. And having those strategies is going to help you so much in real estate, just in general. Because our market's going to always be changing. And you have to understand that it's always going to be like this, but you have to figure out a way for it to be like this. This is not bothering you. Okay. Visionary goal setting. We're dreaming big. Like we said, we set big goals. We're pursuing them with unwavering focus. Focus is important. Focus is the ability to drown out noise, drown out what other people are doing, get off social media, stop comparing yourself to other people and what they're doing, and figure out what is important to you. What are the goals you want to accomplish? How are you going to do them? And how are you not going to listen to the outside world? Also, this is big for having shiny object syndrome. Let's go back to the very first thing that I talked about is like everybody thinks that you need this one coach because everybody's hiring this one coach, but everybody is not the same, right? And if you know that you have certain goals, that might not be the right direction for you to go. And we get so caught up. We see it in the groups, in real estate groups, where people are like, I need leads. What's the best lead source? Right? Oh my God, if they ask that question one more time, I might go off myself and jump off a bridge. And they're like, the answers are right in front of our face, right? The answers are our database. The gold is right in front of us. It's you being focused. It's you staying focused on what you need to do and not saying, I need the shiny Zillow lead. I need the shiny whatever, right? System, or I need to pay for this $10,000 monthly coaching package to get me to my goals. No. It's really us holding ourselves accountable and staying focused to the goals that we're setting. All right. And then breaking them down in actionable steps. We just talked about that. Peeling back them like the layers of the onion. That's why I really like that book, The 12-Week Year, because it peels it back. It goes from the minute to the hour to the day to the week to the month to the quarter to the year, right? So it breaks the goals down. So the big goal, the yearly goal, gets brought all the way down to every minute of your time and what you're doing on a regular, consistent basis. So that is so important. Even if you don't like time blocking, that is a really great tool for you to kind of at least see what you need to be doing on a daily basis. Because I know a lot of people struggle with time blocking, me included. All right, number 5, continuous learning crusade. Feed your hunger for knowledge. Be the expert in every facet of the market. This is how you get good, especially like when you're in a lull or your downtime. You need to be a student of the product that you are serving every day. Get up, understand what's in your MLS, know how many expires hit the market, know how much the average sale price is, because that's constantly changing lately. In my market, it's like yo-yoing. Know what that is. So when you get on the phone with a client, they're like, what do they say? How are the rates today? Do you have a lender partner updating you on rates? And I'm not saying obsess on them, but you need to know if rates go down a half a point. That's a big freaking deal. That could save somebody hundreds of dollars in their payment. So becoming a master at what your job is, that's going to not only give you knowledge, but give you confidence when you're talking to people. Becoming educated is so important. Degrees aren't important. Education is important. So we're really constantly, and another thing we're doing is we're getting in rooms with people that we don't know. I make it a point to go to conferences where I know not a single person, not one single person. That's scary, right? Like I need to learn in a different way. And because I go to so many events and I'm around people all the time, it's easy to become monotonous in like what we're doing and make it because we feel comfortable, but we don't grow and we really don't learn the way that we actually could unless we're putting ourselves in situations where it is uncomfortable for us. I think it's very, very, very important. So that's going to also help you just continuously stay hungry for that knowledge and make it fun, because most of us in real estate don't want to do this unless it's fun. We don't want to do anything unless we're actually having, I don't know about you, but like the minute that this stops becoming fun, I don't want to do this anymore. And I am out. Anybody else like that? I'm like that. Don't want to do it unless it's fun. We're like working with a client and that's psychotic and they're like, da-da-da-da-da. And we're like, I don't want to do this. I'm out. Go find another agent, right? Not my peace, my mental health, or the fun that I'm having every day. I don't want to do that because that's the goal. We want to get out of bed and have purpose and passion and go have fun. Embracing growth mindset to adapt industry trends. So that's part of also feeding that hunger for knowledge, making sure that you're staying I want to use like AI as a good example here. Like everybody got on this AI train where they're like, you need to use all these things, which is great. We all do, but know that you're still such a part of that. Even ChatGPT wants you to give it details. You can't just ask it a vague question. It's going to be like, get more detailed, right? Ask me more detailed questions to help you figure out the answers of your life. It's just a guide. Use it as a tool, embrace the tools that you have, but don't let them feel like they're going to take over your job because it's not going to happen anytime soon. All right. Number 6, networking ninja mastery. This is the best. Leverage your high DI charm. If you're high DI me, like I am, build a vast network and watch opportunities unfold. Networking is the tool. It is the secret. The belly to belly relationship will never be the most, it will be the most important thing, I feel like, in our lifetime. It is so underrated how important it is to get in person. And it's because of psychology. It's body language. We're reading people. Someone said the other day, if you were door knocking a door and the potential seller opened the door and they were like standing there in the doorway like this with their arms crossed, would you come up to them and be like, hey, and try to hug them? They would probably punch you in the face. So know how to read people, right? Understand body language, understand psychology of people, tonality. All of that matters. And in networking, that's what we get. That's why video is so much more well received with people than just picking up a phone and making a phone call, because we not only can hear someone's voice, but we can see their facial expressions, right? We can see, and that really is how we connect with people. That's why social media is grown up the way that it has, is because of video. So building a network is every day you should be putting people in your network. Every day you should be putting people in the CRM, and you're not just dumping people in there, but you're actually actively figuring out where they belong in the CRM, the tags that they have, the the campaigns that they're on, like making sure that you're working those people and actually touching on them in a certain way to develop that relationship if you want them to eventually buy a home from you, especially, right? Turn relationships into opportunities for growth. That is a big one. So don't just take people at surface level. Take the next step. Invite them to an event that you know about. Like that's a really great way. If you want to connect with other agents in your market and you don't really know them that well, invite them to something that you think would be really cool that's in your industry. That's a great way for you to kind of have and then it takes the pressure off of you, and that's a great way for you to build not only your network, but the relationship with that agent, because real estate is like so small, and eventually you're going to want to go show a house that they have listed or write an offer on a home that they have. And that is the most important thing, because you always want to win an offer. And if you can build those relationships and they're there, it just helps you so much. Relationships are everything in our industry. All right, 7, time command center, organized like a Capricorn. Master your time, stay efficient, dominate your schedule. Listen, it's so important that you know your dollar per hour, what you make per hour, and leverage everything else. Leverage is the new black. I'm telling you right now, you don't need to be setting up funnels in your business if you don't know how to set up a funnel. You need to be paying someone else to do that, to set that up for you. You can pay a VA $6 an hour to do all of these things for you. Literally all of the things. Like, you just need to know the basics. Your login, your password, what you want, what your expectations are, and everything else gets leveraged to someone else. The same thing with your real estate business. If you are not working with a transaction coordinator because you think that it's going to save you money, that is the wrong mindset to have. You need to be leveraging your time, because just because you can do something in your business doesn't mean that you need to be. You need to be prospecting every day. You need to be one-on-one with clients. You need to be like negotiating offers. You need to be going on these appointments. Like, that's what you need to be doing, because once you get to a certain point, you cannot wear every hat and you are going to crash and burn. We see agents do it all the time. What happens? They get really, really busy. They're selling all the houses. They're doing all the things. And then they're like, oh my God, I need to start a team because I have all this business, and the business is going away because I don't know how to manage it because I'm only one person. So then they get the people on the team. They don't set it up right. They give the people the leads. Nobody's communicating, and then everybody quits. And then you're back to square one. You're back to square one. It's like a revolving door. We see it every day. And so that's because leadership skills and managing people are not the same thing as giving agents leads and helping them go sell homes. They are very different hats. And that only comes with experience and wisdom to help other people. Once you have your own shit straight, you've got to have yourself straight before you can help anybody else. But part of that is leverage. So look at the holes in your business. The best way for you to do that is to literally write down every single thing you do in your business a day. Every day for the next week, write down everything you've done. And then next week, go back and look at all the activities you did in your business. So figure out, like, highlight all the things you're like, somebody else could have done that social media post. Somebody else could have put that person in my database. Somebody else could, you know what I'm saying? Could have shown that house for me. Figure out, once you become a leverage ninja. I promise that is how you grow. You have to be able to take a step back and know you can't do it all. This year, I'm starting a team as I go into my 9th year of real estate. I've joined systems and processes through a company called Place, and I'm giving up 50% of my business to do it. That's fucking scary. That's really scary. And I'm like, whoa, why am I giving these people half? Because I know that it doesn't matter at the end of the day what they're taking from me. What matters is the net. Because I know long term, this is going to help me hit my goals and make me continue to prosper my business, grow my business. Even if I move 5 states away, it can still go, right? And everything that I've taken 9 years to grow and build won't die when I leave. That's huge for me. That's my goal this year. So I have to stay focused, and that is going to require me to give up a lot. And that's really hard because I've been doing it this one way for 9 years. That's a huge change and shift in my mindset and business. So we have to make sure that we're organized. We have to make sure that we're maximizing our productivity. And part of organization is part of that. And then scheduling, dominate the schedule. Make sure that we know every day. I don't know about you guys, but I live and die by my calendar. Like, it's so important for me to be intentional with my time. I'm not just randomly like doing things for people. Everything has a purpose in what we're doing daily. So protect your time, know your dollar per hour, and make sure that everything else goes to the wayside accordingly, or pay someone else to do it as soon as you can. That is like your goal this year. Because if you're doing everything, you can't do anything well. All right. Next thing, we're moving along here. Become a client-centric warrior. The Enneagram 8, empathy. Yes, we are direct, and sometimes we can be, our delivery isn't so good, but we are we do care about people at a high level, almost to a fault, because we see things in other people that they can't see in themselves, and it pisses us off when they can't figure that out, even though we try to help them figure that out, right? We take that on and we take it personal. And so, prioritizing our clients' needs and forging lasting connections. The client that's getting a divorce is a really good example of that. I left a lasting impression with that client that if something awful were to happen in her life that she had no idea 4 years ago was going to happen, that she could call me and that I knew exactly the steps for her to take so she could go through this and walk through that. That is amazing. That's when you know you're doing your job at a high level, an efficient level, right? Because guess what? That's a client for life. When you take care of people, they aren't even going to ever go look somewhere else. The money doesn't matter. When you send over that buyer's agency and they have to sign it, and like there's like a $400 charge for like my TC, it's a wash, it pays for it. 95% of my clients sign it. They never even ask a question. And to be honest with you, when I go on listing appointments, we rarely talk about commission. That rarely comes up because they know it doesn't matter what's on that paper. I have done enough job giving the value to them that they could pay 10%. They would want to pay they're not, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's very rare. One of my friends in the industry, Sean Getty, he's a very high level producing agent in Calgary, Canada. And he does the same thing. He never talks about commission unless the client brings it up. It's 6% and they get the paperwork. And unless you have that conversation with them, everybody's different. That's what I'm saying. Like somebody could go tell you, oh, well, you need to do it this way. No, you need to do it the way that you feel confident, right? What's going to convey. That's what's important, right? So forging those connections is that deep connection. And a lot of times when you go into people's houses, you're not even talking about real estate. You're talking about how are the kids? How is their life? You know what I mean? How can I help you? Like, or they're showing you what they've done to the home that you sold them 5 years ago or 10 years ago, right? So we overthink so much of this. It's not even funny. All right. Resilient spirit. Channel your Capricorn resilience. Resilience is a big part of who I am as a person. The ability to bounce back when shit happens, when, what do they say, the shit hits the fan and like all hell breaks loose in your life. The ability to hold it together and bounce back is a big deal. So turning setbacks into setups for monumental comebacks. I love that. That's so cool. And so we want to make sure that we're able to know I think the best advice I can give for this is like, this too shall pass. What is that? What, everything is just right now and it's going to pass. No matter what you're going through, it's going to pass. So don't stay there. And if you have that mindset, if you're telling your brain, listen, this is a situation, it really sucks, we're going to get through this. So let's focus on something else. Our brain constantly wants to focus on the negative. A good example of this is I took my kids to Disneyland over Christmas, and my youngest is 7 and he's never been on a ride or roller coaster. So we were going to go on this roller coaster and he was kind of freaking out in the line, and you're in the line, for 30 minutes or so, 30, 45 minutes. And my husband and I are talking to him back and forth about, it's okay to be scared. It's okay to to be afraid of this ride. Like, we know you don't know what to expect and that's giving you anxiety and you're a little stressed about it. And my husband looked at him and he goes, well, you have to have courage. And then he asked him what courage was and he told him. And then he said, but my brain keeps telling me that I'm scared. And he goes, you just need to tell your brain, shut up, brain. So my son was like, yeah, I just told my brain to shut up. When we went on the ride and he had fun, but he goes, I kept my eyes closed the whole time, but I just kept telling myself, shut up, brain, this is fun. And so I was like, gosh, it was like a fun teaching moment for us. And I was like, you can really learn so much through kids. It was really good. We could use that advice in everything that we go through in life, right? Being able to be resilient and just understand that whatever we're going through right now is going to pass and we're going to come out the other side. Good, different, whatever. But it's not, that's the only constant we know is time is moving and it doesn't stop. All right. And then number 10, gratitude amplifier. Embrace gratitude. Celebrate your victories, no matter how big or small. Make sure that you are taking the time out to do something. Like if you sold, like this summer, I sold like one of the highest listing I'd ever sold this past summer, like 1.6 million. I sold higher on the buy side, but I never had that high of a listing. And that's big in my market where the average sale price is like 250. So that was an expensive home. And so I made sure that I literally I looked at the commission check. I was like, oh my God, this is the biggest commission check I've ever gotten. What am I going to do to go celebrate this win? Because this is a really big deal. You know, a lot of effort went into it, a lot of money went into it to market. I think I spent probably $1,200 to market that house between photos, video, drone, like, because it was a massive home, a massive luxury home. Like, and then just knowing like I did all the right things, I wanted to celebrate. That was a huge win because it was on the market for 9 months with another agent and didn't sell. So, you know, that was super cool. That was really, really, really cool. And so make sure that you're celebrating it. Don't get so caught up in the business and the day to day that you're not taking the time out to go do things that are good for you. Like for me, I love to go get my nails done and my hair done. Like that's the thing that I always do because it makes me feel good, right? It's part of like my brand and who I am we see people want to see our face every day. So I want to feel good and look good. So just make sure you're celebrating even the littlest wins. It could be, I know that most of us are focused on like the big goals and like those big wins, like I was just saying, but even the little things like this week, you told yourself you were going to prospect from 9 to 11, Monday through Friday, and you did it. Saturday comes and you're like, oh my God, I literally prospect every day. And next week I have my week set up because I did those things that I told myself I was going to do and stuck to my word. Wow, I'm going to go take myself and I'm going to go grab a Starbucks. Like that's something small, right? Like here, like we just do the coffee at home because I don't want to go spend $10 for a cup of coffee. So like that's a win. That's like celebrating something small and rewarding yourself with something small. It could be anything, right? So that's all I got for you. I'll share all this stuff too. What do you guys think? Any comments about it? Like, was this helpful?